well, the Supercoach, he backs it, and he's looking to be in a pretty good mood. I was at Rabbitohs pre-season training just last week, and he was in the gym, actually, Wayne. He does work out with the players. Did you know that?
He's pretty fit.
Yeah, he still
really
benches
fit.
80 kilos.
I have heard...
76 now? Still benches 80 kilos.
And he can do the chin-ups.
He
does the chin-ups, and he chooses the music, apparently.
Chin-ups with those long arms.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's pretty light, but long-limbed, that's for sure.
Right
but he has at the moment, it seems like the squad is looking fit. I know we've heard a couple of niggles with Latrell Mitchell and David Fifita, but everyone's saying they'll be right come the Charity Shield matchup in the pre-season.
I don't know if it's the Charity Shield. I think Latrell's injury is a very minor calf strain.
Well,
but
that's great news.
He was back running yesterday. I'm pretty sure he'll be back in full work next week, and I think the plan is to play him in that game against Manly in Mudgee on the last weekend of the trials.
Well, they absolutely want him.
And Fifita's the same. I think he's back in full contact. It was a rib cartilage, and I think he's okay too. So, minor scares.
They had an absolutely rotten year with injuries and having to, the silver lining was they blooded a lot of young kids and they'll be better for the run, but the season obviously did not go to plan at all. Latrell Mitchell, if he's fully fit and firing, Paul needs a huge year for the Bunnies.
I think Latrell is at the crossroads of his career. For all that he's already achieved, he won 2 premierships with the Chooks. He's been an absolute standout in State of Origin for Australia. He's done everything in the game. But I think back, and you think of the talent that he has and even the expectation he has on himself. And it was about 4 or 5 years ago, Latrell came out with a quote where he was talking about where he wanted to be remembered and the legacy he wanted to leave. And he said, I want to be remembered as the greatest Indigenous player of all time. And I think if you look at where he stands at the moment, well, for all he's achieved, has he achieved what he's capable of? I don't think he has. And I think at 28, he's at that crossroads of his life and his career where he's still in charge of his legacy, but not for too much longer. I think regardless of if he plays fullback or centre this year, where I'm led to believe he will end up, I think it's time for Latrell to really start playing consistently at his prime.
The move back to centre's massive. So he left us in 19 and he's played fullback ever since. And it's a hard position. He's 106, he's over 100 kilos. But it's a hard position. He's had these soft tissue injuries in and out over the last 3 or 4 years. The move back to centre, it's going to help him. He's not going to be expected to touch the ball 20 times a game. He doesn't have to bring the ball back 20 times. Because a lot of the criticism's been aimed at he doesn't play like Teddy around the ball, which he's not that player. But out in the centres, obviously got to play with him for 4 years. He'll pick and choose his moments. Cody will be there. He'll have David Fifita. He'll have AJ outside him. If they can get that going, he'll touch the ball 10 to 12 times a game. He'll be destructive down in good ball. Just needs to keep himself fit. But I am with you. It's his time now. He's at that. He's kind of late 20s now. He's done everything, but he hasn't won the premiership there at South.
No.
He's had so many injury-interrupted seasons. Like suspension and injuries, they've accumulated.
When you look back on his, I think, was it 4 seasons at the Roosters, he was averaging 24 games a year, right? And since joining South, I think it's 14 games a year. In the last 2 years, I think it's 11 games.
Yeah.
So that's what he's been up against.
Suspensions.
And, he's been at fault for silly little actions that he shouldn't have done. And also you've got these injuries. And I think I agree with you completely. I think that it just makes sense to move him back to the centres. He can touch the ball 5 times in a game and set up 3 tries.
Yes, he can.
You know what I mean?
Yes, he can.
And when he really puts his mind to it, there was a game against the Warriors last season where in 20 minutes he took South off the deck and he picked him up and he nearly carried him over the line. I remember at the end of the game thinking, pity he didn't do it for 60 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, he's just got so much ability, and if he can reach his potential, well, then South Sydney, they could do anything this year.
I think the big question, like the 1769 has been there, especially the 7-6. Like Cody's been there 6. They've experimented him at 7. They brought Jack Whiten over, who was one of the best 5'8" in the game, paid a lot of money to not play 6. So now it's like Jamie Humphries there. You got that Ashton Ward's, like,
Jaden Sullivan.
what are they? Yeah, Jaden Sullivan's been like. I think they need to figure that out, get stability, and then those guys, the Latrells and that, will be able to play off the back of it. But I even know for
Cody
Cody
needs to be fit
Yeah,
too, mate.
that's
doesn't
a
he?
Cody
huge
needs a
part.
7 too.
Yeah.
I think his
Yeah.
best footy was with Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Rent, like it's a difficult one, but they need stability through that spine. There's a lot of teams that need that, but
Yeah.
they especially do.
Jamie Humphries is suspended, I think, for the first 2 rounds.
He is,
So
for that,
who
hip
do you
drop.
think gets the 7?
Sullivan, I reckon, will get the start. They got Jonah Glover from the Dragons also, but and Sullivan's coming back from a foot injury, I think, where he had surgery over Christmas. But I think he has the experience on his side. I know Bennett thinks that Jaden Sullivan's a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for.
Yeah.
I think he's got a real shine on him. And the fact that Humphries is going to miss those 2 games, it's ironic that at the start of last year, Humphries got his go when Lewis Dodd got a suspension coming out of that Charity Shield game. And Humphries got his start, and this time I think it'll be Sullivan, providing he's fit. I think it can work. I think he's the sort of player that could probably carry that team around and bring the best out in Cody. It's so much, though, depends on Cody's fitness too.
Yeah.
To unlock that left edge.
Yeah.
It is on him. It is on him. Even Jack, what do you do with Jack?
Oh, I think he'll play right centre, and I reckon Campbell Graham probably on the wing.
Yeah. I think one of the big watches will be Dave Fafita, and having spoken to him last week, he's just had the biggest cuddle from Wayne Bennett, and sometimes that's what players need, and he just looks like he wants to go to war for him. And I don't know, he just sounded like he was looking for a mentor that believed in him as a person, not just as a player. So I think that he's going to, if he has an enormous year, what a story that could be for him and for Wayne at South Sydney.
What we said earlier, what I said earlier about Latrell, I think it's the same with David Fafita,
it's make or
and I
break,
think it's the same with Brandon Smith. You know, they've got 3 blokes who, at their best, are up with the best in the league. And Brandon's, you know, he's come out recently and publicly spoke about being in rehab and coming out of that, and he's off the drink and he's looking after himself, and he owes it to himself to make a go of it from here. And so much will depend on him, because you talk about they haven't had, a solid hooker since Cookie left. So
yeah, it is. You look across teams, and some teams might have one, like a Newcastle Knights, right? Kalen Pong is your X factor. You go across South, Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, Colin Matangi, Cam Murray, David Fafita. You got 5
and
or
Jack
6,
on a good day.
And Jai Gray's a great story too. The season
5 or
he
6
had last
players
year.
that are like tippy top in our game. Like if they can get them going,
Do you think they've got the pack, especially in the middles?
I think they
Cameron
do now
Murray's
with
back
Cam.
this-
With Cam, like Arrow, Colin Matangi, Cam, and then Fafita gets going.
Totola's another one in there.
It is. Yes, they do.